What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of All In with Colin on opening weekend of the Saratoga Meet 2022. We're all pumped and excited here on the Trust the Profits YouTube page. Vinny and I are doing something a little fun between the two little shows that we put together. On Thursday, we decided to go back-to-back with the races that we looked at with race 8 and race 9. And if you took our top two picks, you would have hit the double. So we said, hey, let's have a little fun with this and see if we can keep it going. So we decided to take a look at Saturday's 9th race at Saratoga. It is 1 1/8 miles on the inner turf. And Vinny's going to be looking at race 10 to hopefully put our picks back to back and maybe give you another double. The thing about this race on Saturday is very competitive. I've had trouble trying to narrow this race down. We're going 1 1/8 miles on the inner turf for an optional claiming of $80,000, non-winners of 2, and we'll start to get right into the field. Here is the 1 Setna the Wise, who's coupled with 1A Dripping Gold. Jose Lascano is up. The note that I put here on this one was very slow. I went back and watched that last race that he was in, and you'll see my note here, very slow times, 25, 50, and he did bump a little bit at the start, but still was third, 4.5 lengths behind in a race that's so competitive. I'll pass on the 1. However, the 1A is very interesting with Flavian Pratt up, Shug McGahee. The thing that I noticed right here is the horse came out and won maiden, $100,000. They definitely showed some trust in this horse by putting him in a grade 1 race right away up at Woodbine. He finished 5th. Came back to Belmont, so this is second off the layoff. Second time Lasix, which Shug has some pretty good statistics on for that. I'm not taking the 1A, however, this is a horse that scares me, especially with Pratt up. And one thing I also highlighted over here, he has a win over the Saratoga turf course, 1 1/16 miles. That was when he broke that maiden. Something that I'm always interested in. However, if you go over in the last race, the 2 horses that you'll end up seeing that I like, Credit Event and Analogy, finished behind those. The 2 Royal Spirit. Todd Pletcher with Louis Saez. This horse is the leading earners in this race, $169,000 on the turf. You'll notice some company that the horse raced against 2 back, Tis the Bomb, Tawny Port, Rich Strike. The last race was run on the dirt, so the speed figure there you can cross out. Today's race is on the turf. If you cross that out, 2 back was on the synthetic at Turf Paradise, did score 91, but I guess if you're going to throw out the dirt, you got to throw that one out as well. And then you go back to the races that were on the turf, very competitive numbers, including a 95 at Monmouth and an 87 over the Gulfstream turf course with Paco up when they finished second. This is a horse I'm worried about. I'm leaving out, but this could be another one that beats me. I'm probably more worried about this 2 than I would be the 1A. Moving on, you have the 2B, another couple entry, Mo Edwards with Rudy Rodriguez, Manny Franco. This horse won a maiden claiming race at Saratoga last year, so we haven't seen this horse since September. Workouts are solid. Maiden claiming Manny Franco, I'm going to pass based on the competitiveness of this race. Forever Super, Johnny Velasquez and Mark Cassie. This horse, if you go back to at Gulfstream, early speed on the turf, 92 speed figure in the maiden race, came back to run at Gulfstream on the dirt. One thing I definitely highlighted here was some very strong workouts. A couple bullets in there. Distance doesn't seem to be a problem, obviously out of American Pharoah. American Pharoah horses generally, in my mind, sort of run better on the dirt. Another horse I'm going to pass on, but again, as we go through this field, I can't fault you for picking any of these. The one that I'm interested in here is the 4. I don't really watch a lot of race replays. I did for Thursday's opening card in preparation for the video that I did, and it certainly paid off with the 1 that won that 8th race. I looked over here on this horse number 4, Analogy. And you'll see here, carried in, bumped at the start, and evenly 4-3 wide. Well, if we take a look at the first comment, the 4 or 3 wide, here's the horse, the number 4 in the yellow where the arrow is. To me, that's about 5, 6, maybe 7 wide. So I feel like we're getting a little tricked on that comment there. And then we're going to go back and look at the rough start on June 18th at Belmont. Check out the 5. He's the 5 there that gets pushed immediately to the back. And when you watch the head on, if you watch that 5, squeezed, pinched, jockey stands up, pulls him back. He's almost immediately out of the race at that point. We'll have one more check here in the middle, the 5 and the blue and white silks. He really had no shot. And if you go back to the running lines, finished a very nice third by a neck. I think that race, these two races, the speed figures would be better if we didn't have this much trouble. You're also getting Kendrick Carmouche up on a horse with early speed in the race that they won. That is intriguing to me. I also obviously love the 10-1 morning line, and I think that Analogy has a superb shot if he can get a clean break and not have as much trouble as he did in 2 out of the 3 starts so far. Also has that one win was over the distance of 1 1/8 on the turf at Aqueduct in April. 4 is where I'm looking to put on top to get a price. 5 is a horse coming out of Churchill Downs turf. The turf course at Churchill was closed down because of the shape of it. So you have to decide what you're going to do with horses coming back from the Churchill Downs turf. Perhaps this 11 lengths behind is not really how this horse will perform. Broke his maiden in 100K with a 94 speed figure. That obviously jumps off the page at me. Tyler's up in a drop in class. Very interesting horse here on the 5, but I will pass. The other horse I'm interested in, other than the 4, is the 6 Credit Event with Irad Ortiz and Chad Brown. What I like about this horse is definitely the highlighted works that I've seen there. Check out Chad Brown taking blinkers off, 35% winners, 71% in the money. This horse is second off the layoff, which I love. You're getting Irad. And this is a very intriguing horse at 4-1 for me out of the Klarovich stables, sired by Not This Time. The 7 has been running against strong company. That's what I noticed if you look at the competition. We've got Galt, Tis the Bomb, Tawny Port, Rich Strike in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, and the Withers against Early Voting in Unoho. So these 12 lengths, 20 lengths, 42 lengths are a little deceiving when you look at who they were running against. Also ran against Mo Donegal in the maiden, finished 4th, 11 lengths behind that horse. This is the first time the horse is trying on the grass with Dylan Davis. Because of first on the grass and rate handle being at 0% with 20 starts, I'm going to pass on the 7, but another price that you could take a shot at. Skip down to the 9, the 2-1 morning line favorite, Fort Ticonderoga. One thing I noticed was the win in the last at Belmont. Definitely benefited by a fast pace up front where he came from off the pace and closed to win that race with Jose. I originally had written his distance a question mark when I looked at the Dam Sire average winning distance of 6.4. However, then you noticed it's by Warfront, who is currently #1 earnings on the turf with an average winning distance of 8.2. So I don't think you have to worry about distance. Definitely a horse to be concerned about. Fort Ticonderoga. The Dam also has 4 turf winners out of 4 starters. So pedigree's there. If you're going off the 2 speed figures, they're there. And definitely a horse to be worried about. Daunt has continued to improve as this year. Good speed figures, ran in the Pennine Ridge. Finished 2.5 lengths behind Emmanuel. Not bad. Blinkers on. First time Lasix. Dropping class. Again, 10-1. There's so many cases to be made on a lot of these horses that it's tricky to decide where you're going to go. Wolf County. Broke through the gate 2 back in a maiden claimer. This is the first time on the grass for this horse. Because of that, I'll take a chance and look elsewhere. It does have Julian Leperoux and Ken McPeak, who obviously had some success on the grass first time with Classic Causeway. Not in any way saying that this horse is Classic Causeway, just making note of the connections. So with that, I've had to make a decision. You have to make an opinion. That's what I'm trying to do, trying to get better at deciding where I'm going to go and being confident about what that decision is. So Saratoga, Saturday, July 16th, race 9. My picks are the 4, 6 on top over the 9, 3, 10. And if you take our top 2 picks, Colin and Vinny double race 9 and race 10 for Saturday, 4, 6 in race 9, 9, 12 in race 10. Hope everyone continues to enjoy the meet at Saratoga, and we will talk to you again soon.